What do you feel is the role of the city council and mayor in managing daily operations of the city?
Well, the role of the city council is to create policy and give direction to other city staff. That needs to be where things start, and then from there, we convey that to our different supervisors, our city manager, the public works folks. The city council doesn't need to nitpick these people. We hire good people to manage each of their divisions, and we should let them run things. If there's questions of policy, procedure, that's where this comes back to the city council. And I think basically to provide that direction for the city employees is the main thing.
Thanks, Steve. I'm lost. Linda, what do you feel is the role of the city council and mayor in managing daily operations of the city?
Steve is actually very correct on that. It is our job to, or this council and the mayor's job to guide the city employees, public works, to what they should be doing during the course of their day. Let them do their job, and if they have questions, if they need guidance, then it is their job to assist them.
Thank you. Robin, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I
Okay.
The role of city council and the mayor in managing daily operations of the city. And I agree with Steve, and has agreed too. The city pays for professionals who do job search. You find people to do the job, and you let them do their job. If they're not doing their job, then it's time to say, you know, how can we improve this? But we don't need to interfere in their job. It's more difficult for them to accomplish what needs to be done.
Thank you. Paul?
I've been accused numerous times as being a micromanager, so I kind of listened to the city administrator, and I realize it now as a council member and hopefully a new mayor, that I'll work hand in hand with the new city administrator and the assistant administrator. And I think that the chain of command has got to go from a council member or from the mayor to the city administrator. And at that point, the city administrator can talk or work with her business partners and her department heads and get everything going. But as a council person who was constantly being accused of micromanaging, I try not to do that anymore unless an emergency runs out. I don't run to Public Works, and I don't run to the fire department or this, that, and the other thing. I try and get to our new city administrator or to our past assistant administrator and give them the information that I have acquired and let them do what they think. I just don't have probably a really good answer for this question, other than one person on the council has no power whatsoever. We only have power when we are sitting at the table, all five of us can discuss and vote on something. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Brian?
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard anything that I disagree with from any of the others, but I'd like to just add a little bit. I think, especially in a town the size of Pine City, with as limited a staff as we have in terms of number and so on, council members are always counted upon to push, to pull, to do something. I mean, you can't just do it at the meetings. The meeting is certainly the place that you do it formally and where you do most of the direction of staff, of direction of the city. But in reality, in a town like Pine City, you have to always be getting involved and trying to move things forward in the direction you want, and looking for things that are going wrong that you could fix. And that generally works pretty well here.
Thank you, Brian. Linda, we'll start with you with a new question. Council and mayor candidates, how do you feel about the proposed liquor store expansion, and where will the money come from to do this?
Let me shop at the liquor store. I think it's a wonderful place, but I don't think we need to expand it right now. There's more things that we do need to take care of instead of spending money expanding the liquor store. We need to fix the sidewalks, we need to do the water drainage, and the sewage. There's, money could be spent elsewhere.
Okay, thank you. Robin?
I have questions. So how do I feel about the proposed liquor store expansion? Number one, I don't drink, but the liquor store was established as a revenue for the city well before I got here. And you have to understand that the liquor store generates money that goes into the general fund, so what isn't covered by taxes is covered with that money. So when the liquor store is doing well, Pine City's doing well and has money to spend on other things. In the newspaper that talked about things that we would have to let go of supporting. And if the liquor store does better, then we have money to do that. And like I said, the expansion needs to be just treated as a business. What are the pros and what are the cons? How will it benefit us and how will it not? We had the liquor store north of the city and we had both. And from what I remember, the one north of the city actually was doing better. And to consolidate, we should have closed the one downtown, but the downtown owners wanted us to keep a base in downtown, so we did that. But they're doing well, and they should expand. It'll bring more money to Pine City. And if you can expand into the storefront next door, it'll improve our main street. And it'll give us one less empty business to try to figure out how to fill. And in the end, with increased revenue, it could probably just pay for itself without having to do anything else. And I'm sure that Laura is a very smart business manager, and she has a plan for that. I'm sure that maybe she would tell us when I get home with my last teenagers and being a good mom. And I'll be settlers here soon, so thank you.
Thanks, Robin. Paul?
I toured the business building next to the liquor store with Laura. We looked over it quite intensively. We was upstairs. I think if I recall, there was a minimum of 4 apartments up there. There were 2 that were being rented. The other ones were vacant at the time. We went to the main floor and we went to the basement. The building happens to be one of the oldest buildings in the city of Pine City. Let's get back to the main liquor store for a minute. I think it's running very efficiently. At one time, the liquor store funded the major portion of the fire department when it had on and off sale liquor. It no longer has the on sale, just off sale. I still think it's doing fine, but I could not bring a $250,000 burden to the taxpayer right now, based strictly on the fact that there's some apartments upstairs that could be rented. I don't think that the city should be in the rental business for housing. There's, by last call, I think they told me in City Hall that there's over 100 rental units in the city of Pine City. I don't know that they're all full, so I don't think that the city of Pine City should be in the retail rental business. I don't know what we would do to improve things at that downtown liquor store because it seems to be running quite efficiently. Maybe they are a little short on space. I don't know that. I can go in there and I can see things here and there. You can walk through without stumbling over things. But I do think that the liquor store is running quite efficiently the way it is. So I would not be ready to jump on the bandwagon and buy this building and do intensive remodeling just to have some storage and a couple more coolers. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Brian?
Well, again, I feel like I'm echoing what has already been said in a lot of cases, but yeah, I think our liquor store is running fairly well right now and fairly efficiently. It's serving what I see as the #1 purpose for the liquor store is to decrease our tax dollars, provide us with funds to provide you with services without taxing you. And I guess That's why I asked a few meetings ago to have a business plan made up, and I think we've got a good start on a business plan now. There's a little more examination of that yet to be done, and we need to decide whether it really will increase our profit to expand the space. I also have some real concerns about the building next door in terms of its condition and how much we might end up spending on remodeling it. And to agree with Paul, I think $250,000 right now is going to be a really hard pill for the city to swallow on something like that. I think we have some other options we haven't examined very much, like if we need more storage space, there are a number of vacant buildings that might be available to do things like that. I also have real concerns myself about the city being in the rental business, because I think that any time the city does something that isn't one of its core functions, it distracts us from what our core functions are and detracts from it. We'll spend a lot more time and a lot more money managing apartments, which is not something that you people elect us to do. So I'd like to avoid that if there's another option, but I'll still keep looking to see if there's a good way to make more money and decrease our taxes.
Thank you, Brian. Steve?
I also agree, the premise of municipal liquor has always been to provide relief to the city taxpayers. Current Muni is doing well, it's making money for the city. I have reservations about investing money in a very old building. I own a house that's over 100 years old in town, so I'm very familiar with the pitfalls of remodeling and looking. And it's always, well, as long as you're this far, let's keep going. I think we should consider, when we expand the liquor store to the west, if we're going to spend this $250,000, does the business plan, make sense that we're going to make more money by expanding that? Do we have to add more staff? I don't know if that. I don't believe we would at that point. But I think we take a real hard look at it. The revenue neutral thing with the liquor store. There again, does the city want to get into that apartment management thing? I think we need. It just takes a lot of looking at a little more research to see which option would be more viable. I know there is room to the west that you could expand if you just need storage space there. So it's a lot of questions for the city council, and I think we need to do a lot more studying on it.
Thank you, Steve. Let's take